Hello everyone. I'm gonna hang out here until everyone gets here. So if you're waiting for anything, just have the comments on the far right to insert any of your comments or anything, and or to upload your website. At this point, I only have Angie and Ryan's website to review tonight. So if you have your website or social media that you want reviewed, then just go ahead and add it, and I will go ahead and address it. Just do keep in mind there is a subtle delay in today's broadcast, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're submitting your links. It may take me about 30 seconds to realize your question. All right, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and pause my video just for a little bit until we have people start coming on. If you have logged on and started watching, I will be broadcasting at about 7:05. Just log into YouTube and use the comments on the right of the page, and you'll be able to interact. All right, it is 7:04. We have a couple people joining us. Looks like Cameron's with us and one other person who hasn't announced ourselves in the comments, but I feel it's important to go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set up my screens here. So if you're not familiar with how our website workshops work, for pretty much everyone that's new, what I do is I go through critiquing your website on what will make it better for your customers to see what they want to see and decide if they want to hire you or not, depending on what kind of niche you want to go into. So with that said, comment here. So if you have questions, comments, or anything like that, you're more than welcome to jump in on the comments on the right of the page. And if you have any additional questions or you need to elaborate on something more, send me your YouTube or your Gmail account, and I can add you actually to the conversation. So I'll be doing that after I critique the site, and that way I can kind of go through with my first initial opinion and then correct anything that or bring up maybe a rebuttal from the owner of the site. So we're looking at Angie's site first, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what I see. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go with Cameron since he's in here right now. I don't know who else is in the chat, but we do have 5 people, so not too bad. Hey guys, if you haven't got this message already, make sure to leave a comment on the right and announce yourself so I know who is watching this. All right, all right, Cameron. So looking at your site, rmg-photography.com. First thing I'm noticing is nice large images. As a photographer, one of the most important things, well, one of the most important things is definitely your images and how your images look and how clear they are, and in some cases, the bigger the better. So that is exactly what Cameron has done here. Is he has made his camera, his images nice and large. So what that allows us to do is engage with his images and see if we like them or not. And basically, look at these images. They look pretty good. Basically, the only thing I don't like is the clicker. It's just a little unusual. Not too familiar with something like that where it has the arrows. It kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. So I'd just be careful with that. I'm sure there's probably actually nothing you can do about it, but if it's on the left, it should just have a left arrow, not a left and a right, and so on. But we'll just go ahead and click through here. The images are sharp, clear. There's a pretty consistent style through most of them. Well, not so much actually with that black and white. It's a little bit different than the rest of the shots, but they're good shots. They're nice and clear. They're sharp. They look good, and they're definitely geared towards portraiture and people, obviously. So it's under the category of people. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing his portfolio. It's the first thing we see, and we're able to kind of engage with the images right away. The image is fun and unique, but just a thing that's going to throw people off is the flare and the tag right here. I'd be careful with using this image as a portfolio image. It's got crazy hair and stuff like that. You got a fun little spotlight over here. It makes it unique. But this is not the most flattering image with her hair and stuff like that, so I'd reconsider posting that image. But this seems like live events. I would, again, one thing you have to do with websites, and you guys will learn this a little bit more, I think in Course 3, if you haven't taken it already, but something that I emphasize in Course 3 is, okay. So Chanel's on with us. One of the problems with building a website is you have to make it extremely user-friendly. And to some degree, make it pretty stupid simple for people to understand your site and get the information they want to get. Now, fortunately, the site the theme is basically the layout and the colors and stuff like that for a website. The theme that Cameron chose here is great. it's portfolio driven. It's a very common style of theme for professional photographers, and people coming to the site are very familiar with seeing portfolio sites like this. So it gives some good, so if people are finding your website, if you're sharing your website, like this is a cool shot, it's a little overexposed, but it's giving people like a great idea of what you do, what you're capable of, and if they like your images or not. But when it comes to identifying with people as to what they can hire you for, something important to do is just be clear with your categories. Photographers like to be artists. They like to, speak what is in their mind, and to some degrees that's totally fine. But also, you got to keep in mind that you're trying to market yourself and you're trying to close a sale. And one thing when you learn in course number 3 actually, is where you learn what a customer wants and who your customer is. And when you're building your site, one of the most important things you have to do is define what does your customer really want and what do they want to see, and how can you make it easy for them to see. So making things very clear. If you have more of a creative director type person that's looking at your site for Cameron, this could kind of make sense. People, live, wild. We can take a look at wild to see what kind of context that gives us. This does not stand out to wild to me. This stands out to more artistic or miscellaneous. Wild would be like, something more intense, something a little bit more creative. This is a great shot. I love the shot of the bee and everything, but it's not accurate to my interpretation when I click on that link. It's not what I'm expecting. And as photographers, one of our most important things we do is make sure to have clear communication and set clear expectations. Clicking on wild, I'm not expecting what I see, and that throws me off. And as subtle as it is, and it's not like these are bad pictures, it throws me off, and it creates just a negative trigger in my head. So you want to make sure that whatever you label your portfolios as, that they're very clear as to what they are. That's something that's really important. All right, so basically what Cameron has here is a portfolio site, as I mentioned, for you guys coming in a little bit later. And something to just kind of keep in mind with portfolio sites is make sure they load fast. And for the most part, everything's loading very quickly. So either the website software you're using optimize your images great, or you optimize your images appropriately for the site. So it loads fast, which is good news. As far as the blog is concerned, okay, first thing you need to do immediately, get rid of these advertisements. You are not going to make money off advertisements, at least any money that's worth it. Your money is made off of photography. Unless you're driving thousands upon thousands of viewers a day, you are not going to make very much money having ads on your site. Now, I'm sure you've read a bunch of blogs promising results like Mr. Donald Duck Scrooge, I forgot what his name is, promising, pools of money when you drive, have advertisements on your page. But one thing that's missing here is tons and tons of traffic. And with a little fun tool here, I can see that you have hardly any traffic at all. That's like an SEO tool I use. It's called SEO for Chrome. And that is not what you want to do. And for all photographers, I see this happen every now and then. People bring it up like, oh, I'm building a website, I should have ads on there. It's like, you're not going to make any money unless you have a website for photographers that drives thousands and thousands of views a day. Something like Petapixel, okay? They have ads and they do advertise. They don't even list. Oh, I have ad blocker on, I think, actually. Pause ad block. No, it's actually kind of interesting. Your ad showed up. So you see they have ads here. Like, ads are good for them because they make, tons of money. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars off their ads because they drive an insane amount of traffic. A post that you create in April is not driving enough traffic to make these worth it. So I'm ranting a little bit, but I just got to make it very clear. that it's not worth having any form of advertising on your site whatsoever unless it's advertising you. If you took this picture of the Black Rapid and they use it in their advertising, then you write a blog post about how your picture is in the advertisement. So just kind of keep that clear. If I'm a client, I'm not trying to buy a Black Rapid. I'm trying to hire you. I don't want to be taken off the site to somewhere else. So make it very, 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 very clear. Never, ever, ever have advertising on your websites that are trying to drive clients to hire you. Okay, so I think I made that clear. Cameron, you're more than welcome to rebuttal in the comments if you have a bigger story to explain or justify it, but for the most part, just don't do that. Also, again, you're probably limited in your design template. So what you can do, if possible, is get rid of all this space, get rid of the sidebar, and expand your blogs. This is just too small of an area to be engaged. So, kind of looking at here. So, I say this is more of an informative post of how you're able to do something. Okay, it's not bad. Just kind of a quick note, don't break a paragraph in the middle of a sentence and split it like that. It's just kind of difficult to read. So just formatting-wise in your blog. I can see you did a lot to the image, which is great. This is a great, like, kind of informative post that you did, like you shot with a flashlight. That's pretty awesome. I kind of encourage that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's different. Shows prospective clients that you get creative and you do things a little bit differently. Let's go back. So it looks like you're posting, a couple of posts here and there. Wow, this is a long post. All right, so this is like kind of a rant about gear costs. Again, this is targeted towards photographers. If that's what you're going for, it definitely changes things a little bit in terms of your direction and what you're trying to go for your site. I might invite you into the actual conversation here and see why you're posting this kind of stuff. If you're going after creative directors or more commercial jobs, which I think is what we talked about in your interview, this is not the kind of content you want to be creating. Now, this post about the girl, yeah, that was a good idea, but make sure also a picture comes up here so they can actually see the picture. There's no picture at the top to kind of identify what's going on there. Okay, this one's good, talking about your wife and like showing pictures and stuff like that. I think your blog's pretty difficult actually to follow, but in terms of actually clicking on links, again, but I don't know if you have the functionality to change that, depending on what site you use to build your site. But this is a good informative type stuff. This could show a creative director, someone that knows about photography, that you know about lighting and you understand these kind of things, you know how to set these things up, so that's very effective. Oh, you're fast. I just noticed you replaced your ads with tags. I like the responsiveness. Although tags are a little much, I'd actually probably post your Twitter feed or Instagram feed on the blog instead of a tag. I don't know what these links are. These are like kind of SEO type tags that don't have a lot of relevance. So I would put, and there's too many of them, and it doesn't say this is a tag list. So I would put, like I like your about page. I like these sidebars. I like your Twitter. I like your Instagram. That's more relevant. Picture, good. You gotta have a picture of yourself. That's important. And then studio, especially commercial, especially some of our clients include these. So just gonna, it's good to have a client list, especially if you're going more commercial, corporate work. Something about doing a client list, I would probably put it at the bottom. Because most people will always read that, and it's better to keep them reading through the rest of the stuff, especially if you don't have like a significantly recognizable brand or group or association. This is not going to build you credibility. It shows that you worked with past clients, but Society of America, these sound like things you maybe did for free, so it doesn't actually build your credibility. What I'll kind of reference my side a little bit to kind of give you some feedback. But you kind of talk a little bit about you. All right, so this you got to be careful with. You also say need to cover an event or wedding, corporate headshot, sporting event. This just says you do it all. You'll learn in the upcoming courses that I preach heavily against this, and to specialize as much as possible on your website, to be very clear as to what people can get from you and hire you for. So, and this applies to everyone. Everything I'm saying applies to everyone. I hope everyone here is taking notes. But when your about section comes up, what you really want to do in your about section for everyone is address who you are, identify a unique characteristic trait about you, like what makes you different, what makes you fun, what makes your personality something different, and then talk about why you chose photography. Tell the potential reader why you're a trustworthy photographer, and why going with you is going to make them feel like they made the right choice. Identify ways that people will feel comfortable with you. Maybe that they'll be able to connect with you. If you had a significant life-altering event that a lot of people go through, like maybe you recovered from cancer, talk about how you recovered from cancer. People can relate to that. Did you have a substantial moment in life where you found out that photography was your path? Share that with you. I know it's hard for a lot of you to talk about yourself. I'm just going to switch back to the video real quick. When you are trying to promote yourself and put yourself out there, it's really important that you have a solid bio or about you section that is very clear as to who you are. And some of you might struggle with this. A lot of people, especially photographers and artists, have a hard time selling themselves and talking about themselves. Now, there's a really cool website. It's called Odesk, so Odesk, so desk.com, and you can hire a freelance writer for $25, $50 to interview you and then give you and write up your bio section for you. So that's something that you guys can do if you struggle with that kind of communication and being able to sell yourself. So I just want to talk to you guys, give you that option. If you feel you're not very good at kind of writing your own stuff and talking about yourself, then don't be afraid to hire someone to do so. So Cameron, getting back to you, with your About You section, I would clear this part up. Give me a more unique identifier as to what makes you unique or special with your photography, or what you're willing to do for your photography. Let me go back to the screen share here. So just kind of do what you can to spice this up a little bit. You kind of say, working on for SoCal aesthetic, no problem. You say you're very mobile. Taking the show on the road, that's great. Just try to, one thing for photographers is you don't really get gigs outside of your area unless you've done gigs outside of your area. So if you have examples of work that you've done, write a blog post about how you went to X location and did whatever shoot. It shows that you actually have experience going out on location outside of San Diego. And then, like I said, clean up this part to be very specific as to what you want this website to sell. Because you say weddings, but I didn't see any wedding photography in there. Sporting event, I didn't see really any sporting events. So at least nothing stuck out in my head. So make sure whatever you're asking for people to hire you for, make sure that they know what to hire you for. Also, let's go to your contact page. Oh man! All right. Again, I don't know what your limitations are with your website design templates or whatever, but you need a form. Having a contact form is a necessity. Okay, and the reason why it's a necessity is because when I click email, Outlook shows up. Now, how many of you guys actually use Outlook? Now, personally, I use Outlook, and that's my go-to thing. But you have like a default email thing come up, and it's not what you want, and it like makes you open up all these things or close something, and it's very frustrating. You do not want that. I don't want to have to go, and you don't even have your email address here. So you really need to make sure that you find a way to get a contact form. Also, this image, it's good to have an image on the contact page. It's not a bad idea, but it's not relevant. I'd much rather have a contact form. and get some kind of information, collect their information via contact form. It's really easy. It's what people prefer to do on the internet. Makes it faster, easier, and all I have to do is just click and start typing, as opposed to load their email or click off to go to Gmail and do all those other things. You want to make it stupid easy for someone to contact you. If they went to the contact page and showed a subtle interest in contacting you, you want to make it the easiest thing in the world to contact you. Okay, and then Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Let's check the congruency here. Reload page. Which page am I supposed to reload? Ah, okay. You reloaded the page. Well done. I can appreciate someone that actually edits it while I talk. It's impressive. All right. All right, let's take a look at your profiles here. Let's see. Okay, photographer. If you're trying to promote yourself as a photographer, at least on LinkedIn, if that's one of your priorities, I'm going to go ahead and connect with you because it makes sense. Go back. All right, so looking here, if you're trying to promote yourself as a photographer, then put photographer in the front. Now, if you're using LinkedIn for other purposes, then make up your mind on what you want to do. But if you're linking out to LinkedIn and you want people to see who you are and stuff like that, make sure that you actually have photographer as your #1 thing, and give a little bit more of a reason to do so. Working professional, yeah, it sounds like you're trying to get a job in the film and television production on here, not trying to get photography jobs. So if you're trying to become a full-time professional, use your social media to help you with that. In the spare time, you also this is the last thing you mention on your summary, but it's from what we talked about, it seems like one of the most important things you're working on. So you might want to spend some time going through here and updating your site. Your LinkedIn profile, and you probably want to bump this down and put up your actual photography business, like owner of RMG Photography. That makes a lot more sense in terms of your promotions here. And you have 500 connections. You could be using LinkedIn as a huge tool for you to start getting business. LinkedIn is a great marketing tool when reaching out to companies and businesses and commercial work. So beef up your profile, update it. There's ways to link your portfolio in LinkedIn. There's different tools. There's slideshow presentations you can add to your LinkedIn profile. At least last time I checked, you could, and that could be huge for you. Put your portfolio actually in your LinkedIn page. It's something that could be really good for you if you're trying to get business from there. All right, let's take a look at your Facebook page. I like the RMG Photography. I like the logo here. It's relatable, and then picture's good. Let's see, not too many likes, but over 100's a lot better than under 100. Getting a couple likes, couple shares, good. Content looks pretty decent. I'll go ahead and like that one right there. Good, you post your work. Okay, great. You're doing a good job on your Facebook profile. Just try to try to share this with your friends a little bit more. See if you can get some more friends to like your page, and offer, really post really good content so people want to share your content. So you got a share here. Looks like it's probably the girl that's actually in the picture, which is great. So this is all great stuff to post. So this is an interesting post. I've never seen anything with these little small thumbnail type pictures of a girl looks like drinking. That's kind of a fun shoot. So good job here. Twitter, go away. So you're not too active on Twitter. It's either you use it or you don't use it type thing. So yes, you are. I like the plug there. So when going through your social media, a couple things you have to make your mind on. I'm going to kind of exit away from sharing my screen real quick. Hopefully my nope. Lovely. Well, for some reason my video feed doesn't want to work anymore. It does that every now and then. All right, I'll go back to sharing the screen. All right, so when doing social media, and this is for everyone, make sure that when you're doing your social media that you pick the ones that you really want to emphasize. So, you know, he has an Instagram feed on his About page, or I think he did. All right, maybe you got, oh, okay, now it's, oh, good, there you go. Got your blog, Twitter, okay, that's much more relevant. So you got a Twitter and an Instagram, but then you have on your contact page, oh, good, you got your forum. All right, moving fast. Good. And this makes it really easy to contact them, contact you, I mean, and make it really easy. Perfect. You got your little social links take you straight here, but you don't have your LinkedIn. So like you have, okay, you probably do want to have your social media here, or you can just have social media, LinkedIn, you decide. But basically, whatever you decide to use as social media, make sure you have it on your site, and make sure you're actually actively using it on a regular basis. Nothing screams kind of inactive, non-professional than, you know, a blog that hasn't been updated in a couple months, or Twitter that hasn't been updated in a couple months, or Facebook that hasn't been updated in a couple months. So that's all really important things to kind of keep in mind. And the only thing missing from Cameron's website, and this is for everyone to know, is he has no credibility builders on his site. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys to my site real quick. The Right Light Photography. And I'm going to point out some things real quick. You'll see immediately that we have testimonials on our site. So these are actual past clients of mine. These are actual emails they sent to me with their feedback. And then I actually have past clients logos, and they're all reputable names. Now this only applies because I have corporate clients. If you don't have corporate clients, then you're obviously not going to do this, so don't worry about it. So you want to go more testimonials. But I also have Yelp 5-star reviews. And when you actually go to Yelp, oops. When you actually go to Yelp, you'll see we have 35-star reviews. That's a credibility builder. Now, of course, you guys are starting out, and you don't always have reviews or whatever at the beginning, but you do have friends that you shop for, you have clients you shop for free, you did them a huge favor, get a review from them. Or take an email that they sent you and create like a testimonial section of some kind. You know, have them talk about you. A little bit of dialogue on the chat box. LinkedIn is dead to me, at least for photography. Just make sure that, you know, when you're putting together your site, a couple things you need is large, engaging imagery. I'm just going to go put this in a PowerPoint so you guys can follow along real quick. All right. All right, things you need for your website. First and foremost, you need large, engaging, okay, easy. Credibility. Basically, any way to build credibility. Social could be a credibility builder. They kind of go hand in hand. So if you have hundreds of likes or thousands of likes, that's a credibility builder on your Facebook page or followers or whatever it is. If you have hundreds of people following you, that usually counts as a credibility builder, whether you use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, doesn't matter. In fact, for you, Cameron, I know you said LinkedIn's dead to you, but it seems to be your strongest presence. So you might actually want to rethink LinkedIn, at least in the short term, to build some credibility. All right, so easy way to contact you in less than one click. Oh, strong about me section. Pretty much the things that you need for your website. Large, engaging, sharp imagery, easy way to contact you on every page with less than one click. So what I mean by that is they should be able to contact you without having to click. If they have to click, it should be less than one click, so one click only. And then the credibility builders being like Yelp, reviews, testimonials, things along those lines. And you know, a blog could be engaging, or a credibility builder if you have strong, consistent content. And social profiles, we've already talked about that. And you know, in your About You section, having a strong, unique selling proposition. What makes you unique? Why should someone hire you over someone else? This is all really, really important information. One last thing, actually, Google Analytics. All right, Google Analytics is a free tool. Basically, it tells you how many people are coming to your site, how they're finding your site, and all that stuff. I talk about it a little bit in the courses. If you have questions about it, I'm more than happy to talk about it. But essentially, you should install Google Analytics. If you don't know how, just Google how to install Google Analytics for, and then WordPress, Weebly, whatever platform you use. All right. Cameron, if you have any questions, you're by all means welcome to ask. And or you know, if you have a rebuttal of any kind, I'm more than happy to listen to what you have to say. Actually, I'll see if I can invite you, actually. Cookie Monster. All right. So I just sent you an invite, Cameron, to see if you can hop on live with us. So check your email real fast, and we'll see if you can follow along with us. All right. So I'll give you a minute to respond and see if you can hop on. But I appreciate the fact that you were loading things very fastly and fast and changing your content on the fly. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna give Cameron just a moment. I think he's gonna join us, and he'll give some feedback. The next site we're going to be looking at is Angie's site. So Angie and Cameron were the only two people that actually submitted their images. Submitted their websites. I'm going to check my email real fast just to see if that is still the case. Yep, looks that way. Yep, looks like that's all we got. All right. Well, let's go ahead and continue. All right, so looking at Angie's site here, and actually something I forgot to point out with Cameron's site is on your site, something you want to have is your phone number in every single page. So you'll see on my website that I have my phone number in the top right page, top right of the page on every single page. This is extremely important. That's the one less click I was talking about. You just have your phone number on the page at any moment so they can easily contact you, or just click contact. Okay. So all really, really important stuff to do. Just have your contact information readily available and easy to access. Okay. So Angie, Cameron, that's something you want to do, and everyone here, Chanel, Erica, that's all stuff you want to do. All right, let's take a look at Angie's site. So going through Angie's site, she has images here. Now, problem with Angie's images here, they're not already large and in charge. I'm forced to kind of click to just view one, and then it opens up a separate gallery. So it takes me a whole other separate page, and I have no context as to where I am, but except right here, it kind of gives me an idea like All right, I'm on the home, I'm on the birds page. So I'm now on a page all about birds. Okay, so when, I kind of like that one a lot. I just feel it's a little pixelated. You might want to increase the image quality here and make it a little bit bigger. Also, your pictures are all inconsistent on size and everything like that. There are no birds here, so this should not be in this gallery. Remember, always have, these are not birds either. So make sure if you're going to label something birds, make sure it's all birds. You have a dog here, so make sure that if you're titling your portfolio something, so like if you go to my portfolio and you click on event photography, you are only going to see event photography related images. Okay, so when you are creating your portfolio and putting together your images, make sure you label things correctly, like I talked to Cameron about on his site. All right, well, I'm gonna invite Cameron one more time. All right, so maybe Cameron will be able to join us. I'm not sure. He's having some technical difficulty. So looking at Angie's site, just make sure that images are consistent across the board. Also, there's this like random blank space with just a login button down here. You don't want people to see that unless they're going to create an account, and I don't know why they would need to create an account on your site. But it looks like you used Zenfolio, which might be the reason why. And then you have some content here. So welcome to my art photography. 2 periods. You don't need 2 periods there. So make sure, and also make sure you proofread your sites. Make sure they're grammatically correct in every regard. That's something always important to consider. I hope that you have as much pleasure as creating it. Cute. Piece of work. Let me know if, again, 2 periods. If my work inspires you to ask. Okay. This is good. It kind of like tells us a little bit about your personality, that you paint and that you create art and you're more of an artist. It's very clear. But this photo here is more of a portrait. This photo here is more of a portrait. This is kind of more of a a dog photo. These photos are not necessarily art. I'm not saying they're not art, but I'm just saying these are not wall art that people would purchase. These are kind of like, this is a portrait and this is like an event or something, and this is a dog at a beach. Try to keep things, if you're trying to consider fine art, something along these like images up here would fall into more the category of fine art, not necessarily these images here. They're more portrait related. So we'll click on portfolio. So you have a San Diego portfolio, so everything in here should be San Diego related. Good. Some good pictures of the San Diego skyline. Just try to keep in mind, if you're going for more, if you're trying to sell art on your site, make sure it's all art that people can buy. Make sure your images are sharp and clear. So good San Diego related images here. I don't know where this is in San Diego. I want to know where that is. Vanju, if you're in here, tell me where that is. Good. So you got all some good, San Diego, all related images. So this is what we're going for when you call it San Diego. I think you need to narrow down your portfolio a little bit more. I think you can take out quite a few images, like this image. There's, nothing substantial about it. It's just a lot of chaos and it's very flat. So make sure when you're uploading images, if you're going for the fine art type of images, that you're actually showing your best work. A typical portfolio is only about 15 to 20 images per niche. You can always have more, but just make sure if you're adding more, it's adding value, not taking away value. Also, be sure to name your files properly. If you're going to put an actual subtext here, make sure it's actually something of value. Don't just put the file name. It does the user no good, and in fact, it distracts them. So like here, fireworks.san Diego, that's a little more relevant. I would probably call it fireworks in San Diego instead of fireworks.san Diego. Okay, there you go, fireworks over San Diego. That makes a lot more sense. So make sure that when you're putting text or anything like that, that you're being as relevant as possible. Stealable at night, that makes a lot of sense. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to pay attention to. Details really matter when you're talking about people potentially buying your images. And here, like the add to favorites, this is like a Zenfolio thing. If you plan on actually driving people to your site and having them buy pictures, then that works. Let's go back to portfolio. So it looks like you have a couple different portfolios. Again, you list yourself as photography and fine art, and you talk specifically about fine art on your homepage. You then make a decision. You either go with fine art 100% and only show fine art, or you kind of talk about how you are hireable for portraits or relationship photography or something along those lines. And I would also try to narrow down your portfolios or albums to 3 or less, and really only show your best work that is marketable. The reason why you only want to show your work that's most marketable is because you're a business and you're going to have clients and they want to see your best stuff. They don't want to be confused by other things. Like, see, like this image here, it's blurry. Like, you don't want a blurry picture of something that could be very beautiful, but it's blurry. Again, another blurry image. So be very careful with what you put up here. This looks more like a painting. So be very, very specific as to what you want to accomplish with your website. Are you trying to get clients to hire you, or are you trying to get clients to buy your work? I don't have exactly 100% clarity as to what you're trying to do with your site, but just make sure it has clear focus and it's niched out to the audience that you want coming to your site and either hiring you or buying your work. I'm going to read your About section just real quick. Great. So it really is apparent that you're really going for the artistic side of things. So I really think you need to narrow down your portfolio to actual images that people would and could buy or be inspired to commission you. That's really what you should be doing here. And also, just a pet peeve of mine, break up the large paragraph, make it a little bit more scannable. Maybe bold some key points or keywords that stand out a little bit more. So like how you've won numerous awards at the Del Mar Fair, like I would highlight that so when I'm skimming through that I can see, oh, she's won numerous awards. One of your paintings was accepted by the Queen of England. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's insane. You should really emphasize that. I would bullet point and say accomplishments. That's your credibility builder. That's the kind of stuff you want to do. And I would actually link to the paintings or subjects that actually won those awards and titles. So it's really important. Like, at the end of the day, the most important thing after everything I say is who is your customer, what do they want to see, and why are they going to choose you. And you need to make sure that all that is taken care of in your site. So when they come to your site, what do they want to see the most? Do they want to see your paintings, or do they want to see your photography? Do they want to see your photography? Okay, what photography are they going to be most interested in? They're going to be more interested in pictures of England because they're from San Diego and they want to see something different. They want to see fun, kind of playing around at the beach type pictures. Do they want to see Yosemite pictures? What do they want to see? And then when they see those photos, what do they want to do? Do they want to hire you, or do they want to buy you or buy your photos? So be very, very clear as to what those clients are going to want, and then structure your site to do it. And then just remember, make sure your site has large, sharp imagery. I would make yours bigger. I felt they were pretty small, so I'd find a way to make them even bigger. Make it stupid easy to contact you. You have your credibility builders. List those awards. If you have any reviews or testimonials, list those. You have no social profiles on your site as far as I saw. Let me check your contact page here. Yeah, no social profiles, which is not extremely important, but it is helpful. Also, you do not need the same phone number 3 times. Just put phone. If it's the same phone number, there's no sense in adding multiple. Okay. Visit website. They're on your website. You don't need this link here. Send message. Okay, so there's your email here. Okay, that's fine. But you have this here, which is most relevant. Okay, having the contact form, so you did good there. So just make sure if you can add your phone number on the top, it'd be helpful. If they have questions about buying your work or hiring you, that's all really important to have. Okay. So, and then last but not least, what I miss? Install Google Analytics and have that strong About Me section with a unique selling proposition. So your About You section is essentially you're an artist and you create art, and that's great. You just need to make sure that you can make a connection with your customers, which you might be able to with this content here. And it just comes down to cleaning it up a little bit, making it a little bit more legible. Put a picture of you. Show me who you are. People want to know who they're doing business with. If you guys haven't been to Toggly yet, we make sure everyone uploads a profile picture because they want to know who they're doing business with. That's extremely important. So that's what we do. Put a little profile picture here, and like even in our About Us section on my site, we have my whole team here, and a picture of me, picture of my team, everything going on, so people know, like, oh, if they hired Dan, if they hired Rich, if they hired Alex, or they're talking to Aaron, or formerly Aaron, or Christine, like they know who they're dealing with and what they look like and what to expect. Okay, that's all really important stuff. So you really want to know, who they're clients want to know who they're working with. So it's important to put a picture. Cameron did it here, so it's important for you to do it here as well. Okay. Angie, I'm not sure if you're with us here, but I'm sure you'll watch the recording. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to address it. If anyone else wants to post a link, please share it. I'm checking my emails again. All right, Chanel gave me the Facebook page. What was the context behind it? All right, so you republished your old Facebook page. Okay. So I'm assuming it was not active for a while. Actually, could you provide some context around that? So I'm just trying to have her, well, I'll go ahead and just kind of critique what I noticed. So I didn't go into too much detail about Facebook, but since we're only looking at Chanel's Facebook page, first and foremost, she has SV photography of East County, San Diego, but she has a picture of Petco Park. That's not very East County-esque. So, just from a customer's perspective, what are you trying to market? What are you trying to sell? Make sure, make sure that you actually have content relevant to your business. So, like, what type of photos do you want to be emphasizing? What kind of photos do you want to show off? So you're talking all about East County, San Diego, but you're not shooting. I don't see any photos of East County. So you have cute pictures of the kids. That's good. Yeah, these are good. Good. All right. So now you have some good good content of these pictures. That's a fun one. Oh, I like that a lot. There's a photo from my first paid photo shoot. Very cool. Oh, is this? It doesn't look like yours. So good. You're posting all relevant content. Now it's a little outdated, it looks like. It's a little behind. So I'm going to kind of teach you guys a quick tip for getting a some interest and some buzz around your business. Now, a great thing is, Toggly. Now you guys can join Toggly.com, and you guys will be posting jobs on there soon for Togs to take advantage of. If you haven't already created a profile, I recommend you do. But this is a great way to kind of start building a portfolio, taking on jobs. But there's also the opportunity of just reaching out to your network and asking people if you can shoot for free or if you can shoot for relatively low amount. And what you do is you try to like schedule a weekend full of shoots. You try to get like 5 shoots in a weekend. And what you do with that is, rather than posting all the photos from one weekend in one day, you post like 2-3 pictures each shoot every couple days on your social media profiles, your blog, or whatever. It shows that you have a lot of activity. People want to see activity. People, if I'm going to hire a photographer, I want to see that they're busy. I want to see that other people are hiring them. It's an art of persuasion, and it's known as consensus. And people feel much more comfortable hiring someone when they see other people like them are hiring them. Okay, so if you want to be a family portrait photographer, try to book 5 family portrait photography gigs for free on the same day, and just do your best work that you can in that time. And then slowly trickle out photos here and there, and that gives you like a month worth of like social media content to post out and engage people with, and it shows like, wow, she's busy this month. Not really. There's only 5 gigs. You did them all in a day. You're not actually that busy, but it appears that you're busy, and it's that perception that is what is instrumental for success using social media. It's showing that you're busy, showing that you have clients, showing that people are hiring you. It's all really, really important. So make sure when you're on your Facebook that you're doing this, and that you're showing that you're making things happen, that you're active, and that's one of the most important things. And make sure that your photos are relevant to what you do. Okay. This is my soon-to-be new bio. All right, I don't know what this is. Chanel means this is my soon-to-be new bio. Oh, maybe she emailed it to me. Nope. Okay. Maybe she'll send it in a sec. So just make sure when you guys are building your sites that you try to incorporate these 5 things. Things you need for your website: large, engaging, sharp imagery, easy way to contact you on every single page, credibility builders, social profiles, strong about me section with unique selling proposition, and Google Analytics. Here we go. All right, so this is her bio. I'm going to read her bio real quick. This is mostly just a blog to keep me on track and watch my personal journey and my venture of taking photography classes. I into the business, my history with digital cameras. All right, so is this a blog post, or is this a I don't know what this is. This is mostly just a blog to keep me on track. If this is your bio, I'm already disengaged immediately, because you're like, oh, this is mostly just a blog. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're trying to create a bio, engage me, like get me excited. Don't just tell me that you're just doing this for fun. So this is, as soon as I started getting bored, this is not very engaging at all. I'm sorry, Chanel. You really need to work on. Maybe I'm out of context here or something, but no one knows, your clients are not going to know what Lightroom 4 is, and also it's outdated, so it sounds like it's old. Show myself. So I think this maybe is a blog post, and that's okay, but again, it kind of throws me off a little bit. So I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve here, so make sure to set the appropriate context. All right, let's take a look at Darren's Facebook. All right, so I know Darren is more the fine art and aerial or kind of aviation photographer. And he actually sent me a couple of his prints, and they look incredible. I really like them a lot. All right, so let's take a look at these. So first thing I'm seeing that's missing is kind of the about section. So one thing that I didn't actually see it actually in Chanel's either. So one thing you want to do in your about section is give some about content. When you say you're a local business, let me see if I can pull up mine real fast. I actually haven't checked since the new update, but yeah, I guess it doesn't do it for us either anymore. Okay, so they changed it, so I can't really get art. Basically, this about section used to show up first. But regardless, you want to populate this content as much as possible. So when you go to your about section, there's some actual about information. So yeah, give me a little bit more information other than just prints available. Talk about why I would want prints from you and stuff like that. Give me a little more context. People use Facebook as your website, so just gonna keep that in mind. Okay, so good. You're getting excited about what you're gonna go do. Here's another photo. Good, Ocean Beach. Good. This is relevant for your audience that you just joined this organization. That's good. The moonshot's great. It seems like you populated a lot of this photography real quickly. This one, I know you did this. I know you did this with Ben, and it's great, and the shots are pretty decent, but it's not relevant to what you do. So that's where you want to be careful. Is make sure when you're building out your site and everything. I mean, building out your Facebook profiles and stuff, make sure everything is relevant. Make sure everything that people are hiring you for is posted up here and not necessarily stuff that you don't want to do. You only want to post things that people can hire you for. You got more of the fine art stuff, the aviation stuff, that's more of what you want to go for. So keep that all in mind. Like, see, these shots are great. This is perfect to your audience, the aviation community. This is what they want to see. This one caught my attention. That's pretty cool. So you see Darren here has lots of content related to what he does. Oh, these are the ones you printed. Cool. So he's got the kind of landscape beach photography in addition to the aviation, like kind of more stuff that people would buy and hang up on a wall. Makes perfect sense. He has a link to his website here, which I've already given feedback on his website. It looks like there hasn't been too many changes yet. Come on, Darren, you got to get up on that. So, all right. Well, pretty much the feedback here for Facebook at the to kind of sum everything up is make sure you have a detailed about section that people can find enough about you, and make sure I like your pages too. And he's got ratings, which is great. He's got a couple of ratings, so that's really important. Make sure people are giving you good ratings. Just ask your friends to rate you. Whether they're clients or friends, just try to get a couple of ratings, 5-star reviews. It's really helpful. I don't think we can have that on ours. Yeah, but I think we have it on the Right Light Photography page. Yeah, so we have 5 stars on our Right Light Photography page and stuff like that. So so we have here kind of what we do and stuff like that. Now we post like an event and whatnot. So just kind of see what's relevant for you. You have your ratings and people that have left you feedback and stuff, so that's all important to do. People have left posts on your page. So just kind of show that there's engagement, show that there's activity on your site. Now we try to move everything over to our other page. So that's why we have this, but that's where most of our activity happens. All right. So if anyone has any additional questions, I think Chanel has some stuff here right now. Publish is just for class purposes. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. So Chanel's kind of explaining why what that bio is about. Click on my gear still on. That's right. You had to take down your page. All right. So fair enough, Chanel, on why you didn't have everything like kind of populated and stuff. All right, guys. Well, it looks like I have all the sites that were submitted. I've gone through all of them, and yeah. If you guys have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to go ahead and ask. Since there's like about a 30-second delay, I'll just kind of be quiet for a little bit and see if anything comes up from you guys. But I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I hope you guys remembered some of the main points to have on your site. Again, I will review them one more time because I see them as extremely important. And that would be large, sharp imagery, engaging imagery, so things that are relevant in addition to sharp, and easy way to contact you on every single page with less than a click. And then credibility builders, social profiles, strong about you section, identifying your unique selling opportunity, and then of course Google Analytics, which helps track everything. I do talk about these more as you go through the different courses if you haven't completed all the courses in the FIT program. But if you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer that for you, in addition to helping you out in your one-on-ones whenever you decide to schedule your one-on-ones. So I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. And like I said, I'm just kind of killing a couple minutes, see if anyone has any more questions, any more links they want me to populate. But I hope you guys learned something new today. And feel free to let me know if you're good and if you have any questions or anything, and I'm just going to stop talking and see if anything else pops up here. Alright guys, it looks like everything's kind of gone a little dormant now, so I'm going to go ahead and kill the live feed. If you guys do have questions, you are, of course, more than welcome to reach out to me anytime. You guys know my cell phone number, you have my email address. I'm always available for you guys. So if you ever need more clarity or need anything, just let me know, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and keep in mind we do this every 2 months, so if I didn't cover your site or if your site wasn't ready, just take a look at the pitprogram.com calendar, and you'll see when the next event is. If you don't know where the calendar is, just log into pitprogram.com, and on your dashboard it'll be at the bottom of the page. Thanks guys, have a great night.